The breastfeeding alone is enough for the babies because it contains all the nutrients. If the breast milk is adequate, don't give anything else. So the conclusion is foodborne diseases pose a major threat to the community. If they are not properly controlled and prevented, our future generation is going to suffer, and we must make sure that uh, food is clean. It is very important to promote the hygienic practices of food preparation, food handling, and consumption. So is the fast modernization with readily available food in market has led to the development of diseases in most of the cases. So we must be very, very cautious while dealing with these things. Thank you.
Kindly note, you can either directly ask questions or you can post in the chat box, whichever is convenient for you. Before that, we have a concluding remark about the session. I welcome Dr. Kavita from State of Tamil Nadu for a concluding remark on the session. Over to you, ma'am.
Good evening, Soumya. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you very much. And now I take the pleasure of thanking our Honorable MK Premachandran MP for giving an introduction speech and bringing the awareness and importance of food poisoning. And also Dr. Sakeer VT. Sir, you have given us such a loving and precious time, and you have taught us the valuable points on food poisoning, the precautions, and the remedies. So thank you very much, Doctor. It is a pleasure to thank you once again for educating us and bringing awareness to all the parents so that what we learn, we can preach to our children and to public. Thank you, Doctor, and thank you all for OFSSA members. Thank you very much, ma'am. Thank you.
Dr. Kavita, for your continuous support and enthusiasm regarding this food safety. Thank you once again. Now we are moved to the interaction section. Participants, kindly you can ask the questions. There are few questions in the chat box. Doctor, shall I read for you?
Yeah, you can read.
One question is from Amit Kumar. How much time we can consider safe after it is cooked if food is not refrigerated? That is the first question from Amit Kumar.
The mentioning, as I mentioned in the class, it is 2 to 3 hours maximum. Especially it is a hot climate. Temperature is also mentioned. Don't keep more than 2 hours, preferably.
Amit, is it clear for you? I hope it is clear. We have one more question from Sophia Carpent. Sophia, can you make it clear that question?
No.
Good evening, sir. Ma'am, normally people tend to have this, those who have this irritable bowel syndrome, some days they have in a month stomach aches and all that. So does it have something to do with some food that they've eaten, or that is just a doubt I had? That's it.
Food poisoning is different. It is usually a food that could be a food allergy. Sometimes some food can cause irritable bowel syndrome that can exacerbate. It is not due to poisoning. It is due to some intolerance that we have to discuss with the gastroenterologist, and some food, some person can be allergic to that. Not it is actually it is not coming under the term food poisoning.
Thank you, sir.
I hope it is clear. So food poisoning is due to microbial or the toxins, and irritable bowel syndrome is usually due to some different type of food that is just an allergy, like that. It's not a infection or other thing. Slightly different etiologies.
Thank
Dr.
you, Dr.
Soumya, anybody else on the line to ask for questions?
No, ma'am, you can ask.
Good evening, doctor.
Yeah.
This first one more clarification. This food poisoning doesn't happen immediately. Is there any chance of that happening the next day? And we concentrate on the food that is eaten on that day.
Yeah, as I told here, that usually the food poisoning, most of them are happening within 6 to 48 hours. All the bacteria and virus are causing within 6 to 48 hours usually. And Okay, so some depending on the which bacteria or which viruses in general, but there are some viruses like hepatitis A. I told that the jaundice causing virus, it can even cause late as 2 weeks to 2 months late. The problem can happen. So most of the case in general it happens within 6 to 48 hours. And there are some toxins. I told you the two important toxins. One is staphylococcal, and the other one is botulism toxins and other toxins. This can happen in the with this ingestion of these toxins. It can happen within minutes also. Bacillus cereus poisoning. It can happen within 30 minutes. So it can happen as early as 30 minutes, or it can be as late as 2 months, as in the hepatitis A virus. So that is called incubation period. That is means when the bacteria or virus which enters in our body, which causes symptoms, is called incubation period. So it can be as early as minutes, or it can be as late as weeks.
Thank you, doctor. And one more question. Immediately, what is the first aid we can give for infants when they have this loose motion or vomiting?
Yeah. So which food you should avoid? You're asking. Sorry, can you repeat the question?
1 second,
No,
all of the
yeah,
participants
now we have
kindly
come to
mute.
know that it is a food poisoning.
Okay. Okay.
Sometimes it might be even late hours, late night.
Okay.
So immediate first aid
Yeah.
to stop vomiting and the loose motion before we go to the doctor.
Yeah, that means if there is any vomiting or loose stools, ideally we usually advise the children that we must take the fluids again. Otherwise, it will go to dehydration state. We lose the
Ah,
water, and it may be serious. So, if possible, any form of water, even normal water, boiled and cooled water, you can give. If preferably ORS is there, you can give, or kanji water, whatever water you have to give the water. Then preferentially they take 10 ml per kg. For example, if the baby is 10-kilo baby, you can give around 100 ml. That is half glass of water. If child is around 20, you can give 1 glass of water at least for each vomiting or loose stools. That we are losing around 10 ml per kg of water. Okay, so if 20 kg child is vomiting, he is losing around 1 glass of water. So loose stools is easy to treat. We can give water, but the problem will happen when there is vomiting. The child may not, if you give fluids, it will vomit again and again. That is a problem. In those cases, you have to try giving little bit, 2 ml, 3 ml, like that small sip of water gradually. If still even this small amount of water is vomited, then you have to see the doctor. Otherwise, usually most of the cases, you can mild cases may improve by time by giving proper hydration.
thank you, doctor. And now there are places where we don't have fridge. Everybody cannot have a fridge. They keep on reheating the food and give. Morning they cook it and go. Then they come back and heat the same food and give because they are all working women, or it is a family situation.
Yeah,
So
ideally,
this
yeah,
uh,
I can tell.
so this cooked food, if they keep it outside and go, how long it will be? It's good to preserve
Yeah,
before
outside.
eating.
Yeah, outside it is only 2 hours only in the normal
Okay.
temperature. You can keep for 2 to 3 hours maximum outside. And if you want to keep more than 2 hours, you have to keep in the fridge. If you want to keep more than 3 days, you have to keep in the freezer, like that, to avoid, so that the bacterial contamination or bacterial multiplication can be reduced.
No, the everyday cooking, I'm asking. Every day in the morning they cook and they go, keep the food outside. So
Yeah.
in that case, it's always preferable to make only a limited food and
Yeah,
then
limited food.
make fresh food in the
Yeah,
evening.
limited food only. Ideally, we are telling one meal only, but it is not practically possible. But at least don't cook for many days, so it will cause problem, because it will cause more days, more contamination with bacteria, virus. No, so avoid as much as possible to keep for long time.
Okay, doctor.
Keep it warming also not good.
And then in the school, they are for snacks. They ask them to bring some vegetables, fruits, cut fruits like that for snacks.
Yeah.
Some schools they will say don't bring biscuits
Yes.
or
Yeah.
anything like that.
Yeah. That is good. Yeah. That is good for health also. No. The
So
vegetables.
this vegetable and the cut fruits,
Yeah.
can it stay so long without getting spoiled?
In the vegetables also can, if it are keeping in the room temperature is okay. You can, you are telling about vegetables. Yeah, you can stay for
Vegetable and fruits they are taking in the morning for school children. Giving
yeah.
some carrots,
That,
like that cucumber, and then some cut fruits. But what I feel is once the fruit is cut
yeah.
and given to the children, is it okay for them to carry
Yeah,
it
you
to the
can give
schools?
carry it to school once, but don't keep for many days. Actually, I don't know exactly how many hours regarding
Ah,
vegetables. I don't know the exact answer, but the proper don't keep for long time because
but
that,
no, just to advise the parents, can they keep it for at least 1 to 2 hours
yeah,
before
that's also,
lunch? They can have it.
yeah, that is preferably it is best thing. But sometimes you have to keep for little more hours in the schools. That is also okay. I think at least few
Yes,
hours.
sir. That is what they send the lunch packet.
Yeah, so that you get to keep for few hours.
Yes, so this is the best thing. And when we are bringing awareness, we have to inform the schools that
Okay.
they should have a proper dining hall. When they are collecting so much of fees and making a posh to school with classroom and all that, there should be a proper dining hall where the children are provided even boiled water.
Yeah, that's very important.
Sometimes the water gets over.
Yeah, and proper hand washing facility also may not be
Yes,
there sometimes. That is also very important.
but this is not being checked, no, sir, in all the doctor, in all the schools.
Yeah, that is a problem. That I think you can do a lot of thing in regarding these things because you are
But
working
but
preventive role.
some schools they don't permit us. That is the problem. So we should have an authority for that
Yeah,
to
that
make at least once in a week or once in 10 days. Some supervision has to be done in the school so that they will have that fear.
yeah, that has to go through government. Otherwise,
Yes,
not. Yeah, that you have to get the help from the higher authority. Then only it will work out.
yes, doctor. So as an NGOs, we have to do that.
Yeah, yeah. You
That
have
we
to
have to do.
do a lot of good things and try to do all these things. That will work. That is very important because prevention is better than cure. That is the thing.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Preventive,
doctor.
yeah,
Yes.
because these lot of things are causing a lot of problems. We are seeing, and recently my relative got hepatitis A by
Mm,
drinking some sarbat, some juice
yes.
from outside, and he was very sick. He was almost going to die. So, so when drinking water and juice and other things from outside is already proper contaminated things, that is causing a lot of problems and even liver failure can cause
Okay.
liver failure. So sometimes it can cause renal failure, like E. coli can cause renal failure and so many things, meningitis, joint problems. Sometimes are very lethal, but most of the thing are mild. But that doesn't guarantee us that sometimes it can go to very severe problems.
Oh. And for seniors, old people,
Yeah.
but is it required that we should have a regular night? We should not have any heavy food or eat outside. Is it like that, doctor? Anything
Nothing like that.
just to prevent?
No, that is difficult to tell. No, it should be clean food because that is a problem. Even home food may not be clean. Most of the time,
Yes,
most of the food poisoning are happening from home. That doesn't
yes.
guarantee unless we are very clean. Okay, that is
Utensils, washing, and all that
yeah,
is there.
yeah. And fly control also very important.
Yes,
Rat trap and other flies. Flies can also contaminate not only our hands. The flies can contaminate and cause infections. That is another thing. And rat, flies, all these things are important. And also the food handlers, the vaccination certificate. I think that is also a good thing. So that typhoid, hepatitis vaccines by the restaurant people, they can all,
yes, sir.
yeah, they can all prevent this. There are some certain preventable vaccines, diseases. So that is also a good thing. But I don't know how far it is practically feasible. Regarding the irritable bowel, somebody asked, it is not a food coming under food poisoning because sometimes some milk or some ice creams or other things, some and other food that can increase the diarrhea. That is not due to food poisoning or food
Mm,
infection.
okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much, doctor, for giving us a very good explanation and taking your precious time in answering our doubts. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much for inviting me.
Thank you, Dr. Kavita. We have three more questions, doctor. Shall I read?
Yeah, you can read.
One question is from Alka. That asking during food poisoning, do we have to stop dairy products or citrus fruits, or what should be the diet we have to follow during food poisoning?
Yeah, that's a good question. Actually, in normally in diarrhea in children, usually we try to avoid the dairy products and the fruit, citrus fruits for some time until it's better. That is in generally, but in food poisoning there is no such rules. But sometimes it is difficult to know whether it is due to food poisoning or diarrhea. So it may work symptomatically. It may work out if you avoid the milk and the. Usually we tell them to avoid in diarrhea. We used to tell the children to avoid the fruit juices, especially if you add sugar, and then milk and dairy products for some time until it get better, and also tea and other things because it has some diuretic effect. Some tea and other things because it can cause a lot of urine to pass. So these things are avoided. So yes, that can be told because we are not sure the etiology, and at least for some time you can avoid these things. But breastfeeding can be continued. Other milk can be stopped, but if for an infant sometimes when exclusively on formula feed also we cannot avoid, so we have to see all other things. We have to take the plus and minus and decide on these situations.
Okay, hope it is clear. We have two more questions. Another question from Sophia. Some liquids are available in the market to wash away the toxin content from the vegetables. Is it safe to use on food items?
Yeah, I'm not aware of all these things, the toxins, because I'm not sure whether it is properly scientifically studied, so I don't prefer them. But if you have some evidence and what is the content of that solution, I don't know. We have to see that and then decide.
Cause food poisoning.
Lizard. I'm not sure. It is, yeah, I'm not sure about that. It may be possible, but I have to check it because all these things, the animals, they are very toxic things. Even so many sea fishes, I didn't go to all these things. Even sea fish can cause so many dangerous food poisonings also unless it is properly cooked. So it is, who is eating lizard? Somebody is eating. I'm not sure.
Doctor, it's maybe because I too afraid
Yeah.
of lizard. So in the kitchen, I'm so much conscious about that.
Okay. Through the excreta of the lizard, you mean?
That's it. That might be the questioner also asked.
Yeah, that may be. Yeah, that is possible. I think that is possible, but I didn't see any reference for that. But it is quite possible. But better avoid all these suspicious things, flies and all things must be avoided.
Okay, doctor. One more question. Rita Devi, tea healthy for our body? That is the question. Whether the tea is good for our body.
Which one?
Whether tea is good for health. That is the question.
Yeah, tea is not a healthy food, but that will sometimes it is not a healthy food. Actually, tea is not a healthy food. Tea or coffee are not healthy food, but in moderate amount, it is not harmful. At least if you're drinking too much, it may be harmful also.
Okay, doctor. Hope it is clear for all of you. No other questions are there.
I hope it is useful, and I try to answer depending on my knowledge.
Thank you, doctor. You put your maximum effort to answer the queries. And thank you, dear participant. It was a useful interaction session, even though few asked the question, but it will be useful for many. Thank you for your participation. Thank you, doctor, for your patient hearing, and you answered many questions.
Okay, thank you.
Once again, we thank you, doctor. Words are not enough to express our gratitude, but still we have our little logo, Tirtha, Grandmaster Tirtha. I welcome her for a vote of thanks. Out to Tirtha.
Carry home message should be the prevention, the proper hygiene, proper boiling of water, proper cooking of food, and don't think the meat alone are problems. Even vegetables should be properly washed.
Okay, doctor. Out to Tirtha.
Good evening, all. I'm Tirtha Vivek. I'm so happy to express my sincere gratitude on behalf of OFSSA to Honorable Member of Parliament Sri N.K. Premachandran and Dr. Sakeer N.T. for providing us with the valuable information on food poison. Food poison symptoms. Food poison symptoms. Thank you, dear doctor. I also would like to thank all of the national and state leaders and coordinators for organizing this national webinar. The success of this webinar was definitely the participants. I thank each and everyone joined in this national webinar, and I request your continued participation in all upcoming webinars. Let our webinar series to be the milestone to build our nation healthy. Vande Mataram, GFSA.
Thank you, Tirtha. We once again thank each and everyone contributing for this webinar. Especially the doctors are the main integral part playing in the OFSSA webinar series. This is the 8th webinar series organized by OFSSA on the food safety for children on the head note. And we discussed various food safety related topics. And we thank each and every doctors contributed in the OFSSA national webinar. Once again, I thank Dr. Sakeer VT. Irrespective of all his busy schedule, he find time for OFSSA webinar and done an excellent part in order to make what are the main types of food poison and what are the remedies to be taken care. All this. Once again, we thank you, doctor. And I thank all the participants and all of the national and state leaders for their support and continuous cooperation. I'm very happy to announce that our next webinar series will be on 9th one, will be on August 26th, same time, 7:30 p.m. So I expect your continued participation and support. Once again, I thank each and everyone. Thank you, doctor. Thank you, Dr. Kavita. Thank you all of the national and state leaders. I would like to take this opportunity to mention our leaders. I thank the national leaders, Mr. Srikanth from Karnataka, Advocate Vivek K. Vijayan from Kerala, National Founder and National Chairman, Mr. Selvam from Tamil Nadu, and the State President of Karnataka, Mr. Amit, State President of Tamil Nadu, Renkarajan, State President of Kerala, Advocate Niyas Mupan. And our webinar coordinators are from the state of Karnataka, Mrs. Sujita Srikanth, webinar coordinator, and from the state of Tamil Nadu, Ms. Praveshika, and from Kerala, Mausmi Deb is coordinating our webinar. And all OFSSA members and definitely the participants. Participants are the encouraging factor for us because we have continuous participant. That is from the first webinar to 8th webinar, many participants are regularly attending the OFSSA webinar. So from the feedback, we are happy to say that they are benefiting, they are getting some additional information related to food safety. Thank you. The doctors are the major contributors for our webinar because of their social commitment and for the benefit of many people, irrespective of all the busy and tight schedule they are taking their effort. I would like to mention Dr. Armanju from Renai Medicity, who is the first resource person for our National Webinar 1, and Dr. Abraham Vogis, chief guest, and he done the inaugural address on the first National Webinar. And second, Dr. Decency Yumi, Astra Medicity, who done the second National Webinar. And Dr. Kiran from Welker Hospital, he contributed in the third webinar. And Dr. Beulah and Vogis from Sunrise Hospital in the fourth webinar session. And Dr. Parvati L from Astra Medicity, She made a remarkable presence on the fifth one. And Dr. Sonia Hafiz from Sunrise Hospital and Dr. Reni Joseph from Rajagiri Hospital on the seventh webinar. And this time we are blessed with Dr. Sakeer for providing us the information on food poison. Once again, I thank each and everyone. Thank you.